course, one of the more common things that you'll be doing with VAN is creating lists. Quick Lookup is a great way to look up individuals in the actual database, but if you want to create a list to actually contact based on common characteristics, we'll need to go to the Create a New List part. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, because the first time you actually log into VAN and come to the Create a List section, your screen may look a little bit more like this. Each one of these sections can be opened up by clicking on the little caret on the left-hand side. Each one of these sections can be favorited. Once they're favorited, you can move them around. So I'm just clicking and dragging these sections around so that the more common ones that I want to use are located up at the top. You certainly don't need to have any of these open, but if you want to arrange this in a way that is more convenient for you, please feel free to do so. It's entirely up to you. Scrolling back up to the top, we do have a description box on the right-hand side. This is going to keep track of the criteria we have selected. And one last thing before we begin, we have access currently to all 12 congressional districts. We have access to all 40 legislative districts in the state. This is going to change as I start to choose geography. VAN is going to kind of narrow things down for me. So you're going to see some changes happen on the screen as I start to make selections. First thing I want to do is I want to choose a geography. And keep an eye, our first change is coming, keep an eye just above street name. I'm going to choose Bergen County. And we get now township and precinct. We're in the New Jersey voter file, and that's actually important because township may not pop up in the voter file you have available. Maybe some large cities will pop up, maybe some townships will show up, but not every state will have this available. It really is just a matter of what is important and what is actually available on your database. In order to get precincts, though, you will need to select the county first. This is going to be universal for no matter what state you're in. Let's go ahead and continue to make selections. Let's choose Hackensack. We see we've also got Ward down here as well now that I've chosen a township. Again, your state may be a little bit different. I can now choose one precinct. If I wanted to do so, I just go ahead and select it here. Let's go ahead and hit preview my results to see how many people there are. Just over 1,000 people. If I click on the plus sign here, I get more information. Under 500 phones, just over 700 doors, etc. And by the way, looking at the congressional boxes that I showed you earlier, we see we're only in the 5th Congressional District and only the 37th. Let me unselect this precinct here. And now we're back to just having the whole town of Hackensack available. I could select one precinct. However, in most cases, what you're going to want to do is actually select multiple precincts. I don't want to just limit this to just the 1,000 people I've got here. I want more. I want about 10 precincts, actually. So I'm going to click on the word precinct. Anytime you see blue text in VAN, it's a clue that it's probably a link, and it will go somewhere. So I'm going to select the first 10 precincts. So I'm going to go back into precinct. I just hit clear, which put me back into the Create a List section. So let's go ahead and select the first 10 precincts here. Go ahead and click Save down in the lower right. And it takes me back to the Create a List section. It doesn't tell me which precincts I've selected, but let's go ahead and hit Preview. And as you can see, we're just over 7,300 people, again, under 4,000 doors. There's just a lot of criteria that we could select. You're getting kind of a sense of everything that is in here. Let's choose let's choose our non-white population. We have, of course, marital status, registration information, age. We've got some phone information. We also have activist codes here. This relates back to a section that if we've done data entry, if we've entered people as volunteers, we can search on that. Same thing with yard signs, members. If they are marked as something in our database, we can search for it. That relates back to the fact that we've done data entries at some point in the past, and so we're able to search on it. So we're looking at not just the information that came from the voter file, but also information that we have entered into our database. We have some modeled information here, and let's go ahead and take a look at just people who score between a 30 and an 85 on the voter propensity model. If you want more information on the models, please feel free to check the State Voices training site in VAN. We have some more information about some of the models that are available, including the voter propensity model. This is a GOTV canvas that we're going to prepare for, so we want to use a voter propensity score somewhat in the middle between 30 and 85. We want to exclude people on either extreme, so if you're high scoring on this model, you're going to vote, so we don't need to talk to you. Same thing with people at the lower end. You're not going to vote no matter how many times we talk to you, so we don't need to talk to them either. We have here just under 3,000 people, just under 2,000 doors. That's not too bad. So let's go ahead and, again, there's a lot of criteria that we could use. Voting history here. Survey questions, again, if I've done my data entry, I can search for people who've responded a certain way, Canvas statuses, and a whole bunch of information that I don't even have open. So if you want to explore, feel free to check those out. We're not going to cover everything here. I'm feeling satisfied about the criteria that I've selected. So let's go ahead and hit Run Search, which is the green button in the lower right. And now it takes me to a list that looks a little bit like the quick lookup page, except all of these people down here are not arranged just by the person's name that I looked up, but actually the criteria I have selected here.